first and foremost on, the overall record was 87-53. But then the second half mark was something that was just off the freaking charts. 52-18. 52-18. That is just an incredible second half record. That included the longest winning streak in franchise history of 15 games. We went, 2.5 weeks without a loss, which seems, in the pandemic, you could imagine 2.5 weeks without a loss. St. Louis Cardinals can relate to that, but it was such a magical season, and I want to get your thoughts on what sticks out to you aside from the championship, of course. What sticks out to you about 2018?
Well, I mean, there's tons of moments, and I'll try to be semi-brief with it. But it even goes back to when the staff was assembled, and one of the things all my staffs is we have dinner, we break bread with one another, and I ask them, hey, what are your strengths? What are the areas that you want to grow? What are your goals? What are your goals in the next 12 months? What are your goals in the next 2 years? And basically, how can I help you guys be able to get to those goals? And so what was really cool is, when we laid out kind of our vision, which, again, we got it, the bottom side of our ring, which is let's get weird. Yeah, I'm going to put my ring on you. Dang right. So I ended up, talking with those guys is, yes, I know. So what we ended up talking about with one another is, just the willingness to be uncommon and to do things differently, and how that encompassed not only just our day-to-day operations, how we trained, but also how we prepared, how we did our advanced scouting. And so when we kind of laid out that vision a little bit, one of the coolest things that happened was the entire staff almost in unison went, "This is it? Like, this is all you need?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is all we need." And so they almost took like that centerpiece, and then just really it just metastasized and blew up. And I'll never forget, as we were kind of getting closer to the season, we talked a lot about how we're going to get our guys to do this. Talked about the willingness to have our guys go out and wear shirts and tank tops and batting practice with our mantra on it. But it was really cool just to be able to see how the guys started to kind of piece it together little by little. What really stood out was that last week, in the first half, before we clinched our first half championship. I know it was only was it 39-39 or something like that. But how we were racing.
Yeah, the Quakes finished the first half at 35-35, which
35.
To be able to sit here and say that the Quakes were such a juggernaut in the second half after basically a 500 first half seems unthinkable. But yes, continue.
Yeah, so we took our lumps a little bit in April. Started kind of getting guys understanding some of the terminology, some of the verbiage, how we prepare, and then being able to go in that last week and be 2 games back, and then win. I think it was either 3 or 4 games, like in the 9th inning or in extra innings. I still remember getting thrown out in Lake Elsinore on the bang play at home plate, where I think it may have been Zach McKinstry, I think, was me sliding in. I come down, I slam my helmet. But it was one of those moments to kind of rewind a little bit. That game, we all got together, and it was one of those moments as a managers that you kind of have something on your heart and you want to kind of give it to the guys. And I'll never forget, we're right outside of the clubhouse there. We're underneath the pavilion there, and underneath the picnic tables. And I just told our guys that, hey, myself, my staff, we've talked about this, and we want to share something with you. We believe that this is our time. And you guys that are here, you guys have worked your butts off to be able to get to this position. I have no idea if we're going to end up winning. No idea. But all I can tell you is that if we focus on winning each pitch, we pull for one another, we love one another, this is going to be the best week you guys are ever going to experience in the game. And so, like that night, we had the walk-off win. We have, I get ejected. We end up, going into to Inland Empire and winning there. And it was one of those moments that once we kind of felt that tide start to turn, and it was almost like as we all kind of defined what we all were feeling in our hearts, that's when everything kind of turned a little bit.